Hello everyone, this is Raju Patel. In today's video, I am going to demo you how we can download the SAML module, how we can configure that in our local, and how we can validate that SAML module do not have any error. Because in many scenarios, we have seen we do some changes in SAML module, or we did download some Excel importer or email connector or any encryption module from marketplace. And when we deploy that changes into higher instance, SAML module stop working. To overcome how we can validate that in local run so that we don't need to like revert the package and all those exercise. So I am going to demo like how we can validate the SAML module in local. Also in this video I will show like how we can delete the duplicate jar file from our Mendix folder. So now let me go into this. This is my Mendix screen where I have downloaded the SAML module from marketplace. To use this SAML module, basically we required uh, MX model reflection module, encryption module, and then we need some user community common or user common modules also to be downloaded from marketplace. I have downloaded all those modules. Now let me come into the Mendix screen where I will show like how we can configure this SAML and we can validate like SAML is working properly. For that, I will come in the Mendix screen. So basically, before configuring the IDP configuration, you have to define this SP configuration. Here we will define the organization name. So for now, I'm putting all this test. Here we need to give the organization URL. Okay, and here we need to give the contact person name. For this is I'm doing this for local, so it doesn't matter. Like you can put any dummy things, and then we can put any dummy email also. I will save this. After saving, you can go into your Mendix screen and you can see like whether you are see this is sometime we have seen if we have any issue in SAML module, this will come into error, and we can ensure that like SAML module has some issue and we can check those things in our Mendix Studio Pro itself. So now it's like there is no issue in this SAML SP configuration. So now I will come into Mendix screen again. I will define this IDP. So I will define the new IDP here. So this will be my test. I will put the URL here. So this will be URL and we'll click on next. So basically this is fetching metadata from Azure portal. So I have given the IDP URL and it's fetching the metadata from Azure portal. Here we can see this fetch the Azure portal. Now we can go into the click on this next. We don't have to do anything here. We'll click on the next. Here we can see that it's updating the MX model reflection data for next step. So after this, it will come into the user provisioning section where we need to like define this what kind of user provisioning we need to configure in our applications. Since we are doing this for local validation only, we don't require this user validation part here. Let it complete. It takes a few more seconds. It's still updating the MX reflection data. Yeah, it's completed now. So we will select this IDP provided. We'll click on the next. Here we will select the administrator account and the name, which will be our this name. which will be your unique identifier for this application. Sometimes it's in many applications, it can be GID or corp ID. Now in this screen, basically we select what module role you want to give to user or at the time of user creation during SAML single sign-on. So basically, since we are doing this for local validation, I'm not giving any role here. And this is the provisioning part where we can define the new provisioning, which we get basically this provisioning details we get from Azure portal. So let me go into the I will show you like how we can do that. So this is like we got this schema from Azure portal, and we can define this in our single sign-on configuration. So I'm showing one example. So we will define, click on new. Here I will click on search. Here I don't have any attribute, so I will define the new. Here I will put the name, this URL, and this will be the name format. We don't require this. Here this I am making this attribute for display name. So I will put the display name here. We'll click on save. We'll select this display name, select, and here what will be the attribute which will replace with this when we will get the data, say response data from single sign-on. So here it will be our full name. Similarly, we can define the same attribute for email or our the email ID also. And this, if you require some other attribute also, we can define this provisioning in this section. Now I will click on the next. So here this is attribute consuming service. I will click on the next. Here also it's in preference settings. We don't need to change anything here. We'll click on next. So it's finally fetching the metadata from our Azure portal. So here we can see this message like we are able to configure the SAML module in local. It means there is no any duplicate jar issue or any other issue in the SAML module. So here, so that using these steps, we can ensure like it will not give any issue in our higher instance when we'll deploy this our application package to dev or prod or acceptance instance. So now this means like here also in the moment MX reflection also here also we can see like it will not give any error when we completed this. So this uh, if we get this message, like we can ensure like our SAML configuration module is correct, and we can use this in our higher instance. Now let me go into this userlib folder. Basically, in many scenario we have seen like we after updating the Excel importer or email connector or any other module, we are getting some null pointer exception. We are getting some other kind of different kind of exception in higher instance. Uh, Due to that user library folder, duplicate jar has been created in your user library folder. So to how we can remove that, I am going to demo. So we need to go in that folder where we have put our this Mendix user library folder. Here you can go and we can put this type filter. Here we can select the required library folder. Okay, and then we can see like if there is any duplicate jar, we can click on the name. It will arrange this. Generally, we have seen for SAML module, this BCP module has some duplicate jar error. So that cause issues. So here we can see like if this BCP JDK on have 169.jar and 170.jar also. So generally we as a like our developer approach, we can keep the higher module. This is not causing issue so far, but sometime we have seen like duplicate jar have or give some error due to this duplicate jar things. So we need to delete this duplicate jar from our user library folder, and we can redeploy these changes, and we need to go into the Mendix screen, and we can do that application synchronize app directory. First, before that, you can click on this clean deployment directory. You can put the synchronize app directory, and you will be able to um, fix this error due to this duplicate jar. So in this video, I have demoed like how we can configure the SAML module in local we can validate that SAML module have do not have any issue, and how we can remove that duplicate jar from our Mendix application directory to avoid any error in higher instance. So this is for our today's this is for this videos. Thanks all.